โอเคนะครับพิมพ์แค่ระดับชั้นนะครับทุกคนที่เพิ่งเข้ามาใหม่ทุกคนนะครับรบกวนด้วยนะครับทุกคนที่เข้ามาใหม่ทุกคนรบกวนช่วยพิมพ์นะครับว่าตัวเองลงทะเบียนไว้นะครับเป็นระดับไหนนะครับปี1ปี2มต้นมปลายนะครับจากสถาบันไหนพิมพ์มาด้วยเลยนะครับเดี๋ยวเรารอกันอีกนิดเดียวนะครับจะได้เริ่มเลยนะครับรบกวนทุกคนพิมพ์มาได้เลยนะครับมีน้องบอสนะครับแล้วก็น้องฟ้า NK นะครับอ่าแล้วก็แซนหรือเปล่าครับผมไม่แน่ใจนะครับแล้วก็น้องธรรมะที่ยังไม่ได้พิมพ์นะครับคนไหนที่ยังไม่ได้พิมพ์ระดับชั้นเรียนนะครับแล้วก็สถาบันการศึกษาปัจจุบันให้พิมพ์เข้ามาในกลุ่มด้วยนะครับเดี๋ยวเราจะได้ทราบนะครับมีมาจากนิวตันด้วยนะครับโอเคมีจากที่อื่นอีกไหมครับมีโอเคน้องพี่นะครับชันมิ่งหรือเปล่านะครับอ่านออกเสียงผิดก็ต้องขออภัยรบกวนทุกคนที่เข้ามาใหม่นะครับหรือยังไม่ได้แจ้งว่าตัวเองเรียนที่ไหนชั้นไหนนะครับพิมพ์เข้ามาได้เลยนะครับโอเคนะครับน่าจะได้ทราบข้อมูลเบื้องต้นแล้วส่วนใหญ่นะครับส่วนใหญ่รู้สึกว่าจะอยู่ระดับมัธยมเยอะเลยแล้วก็มีมหาลัยด้วยนะครับผมโอเคก็เดี๋ยวเราเริ่มกันเลยแล้วกันนะครับรู้สึกว่าทุกคนน่าจะมาพร้อมแล้วก็ก่อนอื่นเลยนะครับขออนุญาตแนะนำตัวนะครับอ่าผมชื่อจัญวัฒน์ชาติรัตน์นะครับหรือเรียกว่าอาจารย์เก่งก็ได้นะครับเป็นผู้ก่อตั้งของโดรนอะคาเดมี่ไทยแลนด์นะครับวันนี้เนี่ยเราก็จะมีทีมงานและสตาฟทุกคนมาเล่าให้ฟังนะครับว่ากิจกรรมที่เราจะจัดใน NASA Space App Challenge ในฐานะ local leader ของประเทศไทยนะครับจะมีอะไรบ้างนะครับโอเคอันนี้ก็ประวัติคร่าวๆนะครับลองไปไล่อ่านดูแล้วกันนะครับก็ก่อนที่จะเข้าสู่เนื้อหารายละเอียดขอแนะนำเรื่องเกี่ยวกับสถาบันของเรานิดนึงว่าเราเป็นใครนะครับDrone Academy Thailand แล้วก็มีหน้าที่หลักๆในการอบรมเกี่ยวกับทางด้านโดรนนะครับด้าน Space ด้านอวกาศต่างๆนะครับก็มีผลงานรางวัลต่างๆมากมายนะครับล่าสุดก็มีเยาวชนนะครับที่ได้รับแชมป์ในระดับประถมนะครับการแข่งขันกิโบนะครับถัดมาก็จะเป็นรางวัลอื่นๆนะครับที่เราได้แชมป์ต่างๆมากมายนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นของการแข่งขันโดรนโปรแกรมมิ่งจากสิงคโปร์นะครับแล้วก็จากในนานาประเทศด้วยนะครับผมแล้วก็เราก็มีความร่วมมือในหลากหลายหน่วยงานนะครับมากมายเลยนะครับแล้วก็ล่าสุดทางดูไบแอร์โชว์เราก็ได้รับการรับเชิญเข้าไปร่วมบรรยายนะครับที่ปลายปีนี้นะครับที่ประเทศดูไบแล้วก็มีการไปบรรยายให้ความรู้ในอีเวนต์ต่างๆเกี่ยวกับโดรนเกี่ยวกับด้านการบินทั่วโลกนะครับดังนั้นถ้าน้องๆนะครับเยาวชนคนไหนสนใจทางด้านโดรนอวกาศนะครับด้านการบินก็ติดตามเพจต่างๆของเราไว้ได้นะครับเดี๋ยวเรารายชื่อเหล่านี้ก็เป็นพาร์ทเนอร์นะครับพาร์ทเนอร์ที่ให้การสนับสนุนเราทั้งทางตรงทางอ้อมแล้วก็จัดอีเวนต์ต่างๆนะครับผมแล้วก็อันนี้ก็เป็นรายการทีวีต่างๆที่เผยแพร่นะครับให้ความรู้ ที่สื่อของ Drone Academy Thailand เราในอดีตที่ผ่านมานะครับแล้วก็ผู้สนับสนุนในระดับนานาชาตินะครับพาร์ทเนอร์ที่เรารู้จักกันนะครับในล่าสุดเราก็มีความร่วมมือกับสถาบันการบินพลเรือนแห่งนะครับด้วยนะครับเกี่ยวข้องกับโครงการจัดทำหลักสูตรโดรนนะครับในอีกไม่นานนี้นะครับหลายๆคนก็น่าจะได้รับทราบข่าวสารเพิ่มเติมเกี่ยวข้องกับโครงการนี้นะครับแล้วก็เราเองเนี่ยก็เป็นศูนย์อบรมนะครับของ DJI เกี่ยวข้องกับทางโดรนเกษตรด้วยนะครับแล้วก็มีลูกค้าที่เข้ามาอบรมต่างๆมากมายนะครับก็จากหลากหลายหน่วยงานเลยนะครับผมแล้วก็อันนี้ก็จะเป็นภาพนะครับบรรยากาศการอบรมที่ผ่านมานะครับเยอะแยะเลยนะครับแล้วก็หลักๆของเราเนี่ยก็มีทั้งอบรมโดรนประกอบเขียนโปรแกรมเยอะแยะมากมายนะครับปีนี้ก็เป็นปีที่เราจะมีการจัดอีเวนต์อีกเป็นครั้งที่2นะครับใน NASA Space App ปีที่แล้วเนี่ยมีใครที่เคยเข้าร่วมจากปีที่แล้วบ้างครับช่วยรบกวนพิมพ์เข้ามาในห้องแชทหน่อยนะครับแจ้งนิดนึงนะครับเดี๋ยวข้อมูลในการแข่งขันต่างๆเนี่ยเดี๋ยวจะมีพี่ลิลลี่นะครับเข้ามาให้ข้อมูลซึ่งพี่เขาจะให้ข้อมูลเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับและการแข่งขันสไลด์การพรีเซนต์ต่างๆก็เป็นภาษาอังกฤษใครที่เคยเข้าร่วมปีที่แล้วน่าจะทราบข้อมูลเหล่านี้ดีนะครับมีคนรออยู่ในห้องที่เพิ่งมาด้วยนะครับโอเคแอดมิดให้แล้วนะครับถัดมานะครับท่านไหนที่เพิ่งมานะครับท่านไหนที่เพิ่งมาเมื่อสักครู่นะครับรบกวนช่วยพิมพ์ชื่อสถาบันการศึกษานะครับแล้วก็ระดับชั้นของตนเองด้วยนะครับเพื่อที่จะได้ทราบว่าอยู่ชั้นไหนกันนะครับในห้องแชทเลยนะครับโอเคถัดไปนะครับก็จะมีเรื่องการโชว์โดรนแปลอักษรด้วยนะครับและที่สำคัญเราไม่ได้ทำแค่นั้นแล้วก็จะมีงานวิจัยต่างๆเกี่ยวข้องกับหุ่นยนต์โรบอทด้วยนะครับอันนี้ก็เป็นหลากหลายผลงานที่เราทำไว้นะครับก็ใครมีเวลาก็ลองไปติดตามใน YouTube ของเราดูนะครับเราก็สถานที่ตั้งเราก็อยู่ที่เมืองทองนะครับถัดมานี่ก็คือเป็นพวกคอมมูนิตี้เกี่ยวข้องกับโดรนงานอีเวนต์ต่างๆที่เราจัดนะครับที่ผ่านมานะครับแล้วก็ทีมเยาวชนที่เราเคยสนับสนุนไปแข่งขันที่ต่างประเทศมีน้องมิ้วด้วยที่ได้แชมป์โดรนนะครับแล้วก็เราก็เป็นผู้ส่งนักกีฬาไปแข่งขันนะครับปีนี้จริงๆเนี่ยเขาก็อยากจะให้เยาวชนไทยไปแข่งด้วยแต่ด้วยสถานการณ์โควิดยังไม่คลี่คลายนะครับทุกคนก็อาจจะต้องรอการแข่งในปีถัดไปนะครับอันนี้ก็เป็นที่เราไปได้แชมป์โดรนฟรีสไตล์นะครับแล้วก็การแข่งเขียนโปรแกรมมิ่งนะครับใน3 ปีซ้อนของเราแล้วก็อีกหลากหลายโครงการนะครับแล้วก็มีอบรมทั้งตำรวจทหารกองทัพเรือตำรวจตระเวนชายแดนเยอะแยะมากมายหน่วยกู้ระเบิดนะครับแม้กระทั่งตำรวจน้ำหน่วยงานต่างๆนะครับโครงการอันนี้ก็เป็นรางวัลต่างๆของอีเวนต์นะครับที่เราลูกศิษย์ลูกหาเราไปชนะมานี่ก็เป็นอีเวนต์ของเกี่ยวข้องกับโดนบนสถานีอวกาศนะครับผมโอเคก็เดี๋ยวมีเวลาก็ไปศึกษาข้อมูลดูนะครับตอนนี้เนี่ยก็จะมีข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมนะครับเกี่ยวข้องกับคนไหนที่มีความสนใจทางด้านอวกาศแล้วก็จะมีการอบรมเกี่ยวข้องกับSpace Aviation ด้วยนะครับล่าสุดในวันนี้เนี่ยณเวลาเดียวกันเนี่ยก็จะมีการอบรมเกี่ยวข้องกับ Kerbal Space Program ด้วยมีใครเคยเล่น Kerbal Space Program บ้างไหมครับลองพิมพ์เข้ามาในห้องแชทดูนะครับผมโอเคเดี๋ยวระหว่างนี้ขอสัมภาษณ์น้องๆนะครับสัก1 คนนะครับ1 คนจากแต่ละสถาบันนะครับขอรบกวนเอาคนแรกเลยนะครับน้องชื่อยะพาหรือเปล่าครับปริญญาตรีจากพระจอมเกล้าธนบุรีนะครับยังอยู่ไหมครับ
อยู่ค่ะ
ครับอยากสอบถามนิดนึงครับว่าทำไมถึงทราบข่าวการแข่งขันนี้ได้ยังไงแล้วก็ทำไมถึงสนใจเข้าร่วมครับ
อ๋อพอดีว่าเพื่อนในมหาวิทยาลัยเขามีส่งลงมาในไลน์กลุ่มรุ่นนะคะแล้วเขาก็ถามว่ามีใครสนใจอยากลงไหมหนูคิดว่า รายการนี้ก็เป็นโอกาสดีๆที่ทางผู้ใหญ่เขามีจัดแล้วก็น่าสนใจก็เลยลองลงดูค่ะ
อ๋อเรียนอยู่คณะอะไรครับผม
วิศวกรรมคอมพิวเตอร์ค่ะ
อ๋อโอเคครับ แล้วในทีมตอนนี้เนี่ยมีอยู่กันกี่คนครับ
ตอนนี้มี5 คนค่ะ
อ๋อโอเคครับขอบคุณมากเลยครับ
ค่ะขอบคุณ
ถัดไปค
ค่ะ
รับเดี๋ยวอ่ารบกวนน้องโอโซนนะครับน้องโอโซนนะครับ มีไมค์ไหมครับรบกวนช่วยเปิดไมค์หน่อยครับ
ครับ
ครับน้องโอโซนปีนี้ปัญญาภิวัฒน์นะครับมากันกี่ทีมถ้าจำไม่ผิดโอโซนเนี่ยก็น่าจะได้รับรางวัลจากปีที่แล้วเนาะใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ครับ
อ๋อโอเคแนะนำตัวให้เพื่อนๆรู้จักนะครับชื่ออะไรจากสถาบันไหนแล้วก็ปีนี้มากันกี่คน
ครับก็ชื่อเล่นชื่อโอโซนนะครับอายุ13นะครับก็คือ
เดี๋ยวเดี๋ยว
ยุค
เดี๋ยวนิดนึงนะครับน้องคนไหนที่มีกล้องแล้วก็สะดวกเปิดนะครับ ก็สามารถเปิดให้เพื่อนๆได้รู้จักหน้ากันได้เนาะนะครับ สามารถเปิดแชร์ให้ได้เลยนะครับ เปิดกล้องให้เพื่อนๆเห็นหน้าได้นะครับ ถ้าไม่สะดวกก็ไม่เป็นไรเชิญต่อเลยครับ
ก็ชื่อโอโซนนะครับอยู่สถาบันการจัดการปัญญาภิวัฒน์นะครับอายุ13นะครับก็ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักกับทุกคนนะครับ
ปีนี้สาธิตปัญญาภิวัฒน์มากันกี่คนครับ
เอ่อในกลุ่มของผมก็จะมีทั้งหมด6 คนครับ
อ๋อเอ๊ะรู้สึกเสียงเอ็กโคไหมครับไม่เอ็กโคเนาะทุกคนได้ยินเสียงปกติแล้วเนาะโอเคต่อไปคนถัดไปนะครับ ถัดไปเดี๋ยวสาธิตปัญญาภิวัฒน์รู้สึกว่ามีแล้วนะครับเดี๋ยวขอข้ามมากันเยอะเลยขอน้องบอสหน่อยครับมาจากนิวตันหรือเปล่าครับเดอะนิวตันลองแนะนำตัวหน่อยครับว่ามาชื่ออะไรครับชื่อเรียน
ผมชื่อบอสครับมาจากโรงเรียนเดนิวตันครับ
ครับเท่าที่ดูชื่อเนี่ยน่าจะมาปีแรกเนาะทราบข่าวจากที่ไหนครับ
ก็จากกลุ่มเอ่อกลุ่มโรบอติกที่โรงเรียนนะครับเขามีประกาศว่ามี Space App Challenge ผมก็เลยจอยนะครับ
อ๋อครับแล้วในทีมที่มาเข้าร่วมเนี่ยมีเพื่อนๆมาจากเดอะนิวตันกี่คนครับ
อีก4 คนครับ
สี่ใช่ไหมครับ
รวมผมเป็น5ครับ
อ๋อเป็น5 คนโอเคนะครับงั้นถัดไปเลยนะครับ ใครที่อยากจะให้เราออกสัมภาษณ์ก็พิมพ์มาได้เลยนะครับต่อไปนะครับ น้องเอมม.5นะครับเชิญแนะนำตัวได้เลยครับ
ครับผมชื่อเอครับอายุ16 ปีอยู่เรียนกรุงเทพคริสเตียนนะครับ
โอเคครับกรุงเทพคริสเตียนปีนี้น่าจะมาปีแรกไหมครับเข้าร่วมปีแรก
อันนี้ไม่ทราบเหมือนกันครับเพราะว่าผมสมัครเองครับ
มีทีมมาไหมครับ
เออเห็นทีมเขาเข้ามาบางคนครับ
ก็ที่เตรียมกันไว้นี่มีมาประมาณกี่คนครับในทีม
ในทีมมันจะแบ่งแบบไปแบบคนละโรงเรียนเลยครับเพราะว่าผมสมัครกับในเครือของที่เรียนพิเศษเองครับ
อ๋อครับทราบข่าวการแข่งขันนี้จากที่ไหนครับ
จะเพื่อนครับ
อ๋อโอเคครับขอบคุณนะครับน้องเอมากเลยนะครับโอเคต่อไปนะครับอันนี้นิวตันมีตัวแทนพูดไปแล้วนะครับขอโรงเรียนวัดราชบพิตรหน่อยครับอันนี้มาน่าจะเพิ่งมาหรือเปล่าครับเชิญเลยครับน้องชื่ออะไรครับมีไมค์ไหมครับรู้สึกว่าจะมีเข้ามาใหม่น้องชานมิ่งหรือเปล่าครับอ่านออกเสียงยังไงครับหรือใครมาจากราชบพิตรอยากจะแนะนำตัวเชิญได้เลยนะครับมีไหมครับถ้าไม่มีเดี๋ยวข้ามไปก่อนนะครับไปขอตัวแทนจากเซนกระเบียน1 คนนะครับขอ1 คนครับอยู่ไหมครับฮัลโหลมีไหมครับฮัลโหลได้ยินไหมครับเซนกระเบียนครับขอตัวแทนเซนกระเบียน1 คนเห็นมีเข้ามานะครับ
สวัสดีครับเสียงกระเบียงครับ
ครับชื่อเล่นอะไรครับ
ชื่อซันเก้ครับ
อ๋ออ่าสมาชิกทีมมีกี่คนครับ
มี4 คนครับผม
อ๋อได้ทราบรายละเอียดการแข่งขันจากทางไหนครับ
ทาง Facebook ครับ
โอเคทำไมถึงสนใจเข้าร่วมการแข่งขันครับผม
พอดีสมัครงานวิทยาศาสตร์หลายงานครับ ก็เลยสนใจงานพวกนี้พิเศษครับผม
โอเคเคยแข่งขันอีเวนต์ต่างๆ ปีนี้กับปีที่ผ่านมาแข่งอะไรมาบ้างครับ
ปีนี้มีลงแค่ YSC อย่างเดียวครับ
โอเคครับ ปีนี้เนี่ยถ้าจำไม่ผิดนะครับจะมีอีเวนต์การแข่งขันของ Kerbal Space Program ด้วยนะครับ มีใครลงไหมครับพิมพ์มาได้นะครับ แล้วก็รู้สึกจะมีการแข่งขันของกองทัพอากาศมีใครรู้ไหมครับว่ากองทัพอากาศจะแข่งอะไรขอดูซิจะมีแฟนพันธุ์แท้หรือเปล่านะครับมีไหมครับต่อเลยนะครับ ต่อไปขอใครที่รอค้างอยู่ข้างนอกเดี๋ยวแจ้งได้นะครับสาธิตไปมี3 เสนมาด้วยรบกวนตัวแทน3 เสนหน่อยครับ
สวัสดีครับชื่อโรนันราเวนสปูดครับจาก3 เสนวิทยาลัยครับ
น้องโรนันเป็นลูกครึ่งหรือเปล่าครับ
ลูกครึ่งครับ
จากประเทศอะไรครับ
พ่อเป็นนิวซีแลนด์แม่ไทยครับ
โอเคเสียงหล่อมากเลยเพื่อนๆในทีมมีกันกี่คนครับ
มี4 คนครับแล้วมาจากโรงเรียนต่างกันหมดเลยครับทั้ง4 คนเลย
โอ้แล้วรู้จักการแข่งขันนี้มาจากไหนครับผม
มาจากเพื่อนคนหนึ่งในทีมครับ
โอเคครับปกตินี้แข่งขันหรือสนใจทางด้านอวกาศการบินอะไรอย่างนี้ไหมฮะมีทำอะไร
ก็มีสนใจครับแล้วก็เป็นด้านแอปพลิเคชันด้วยครับ
โอเคครับได้นะครับขอบคุณมากเลยนะครับมี1 คนนะครับเขียนว่ามาจาก PCCCP ไม่แน่ใจย่อมาจากอะไรครับหรือเป็นชื่ออะไรฮะP น้อง NK ครับน้อง NK อยู่ไหมครับฮัลโหลน้อง NK นะครับถ้าอยู่ก็เปิดไมค์ตอบได้นะครับไม่เป็นไรเดี๋ยวข้ามไปก่อนนะครับมี SSRU สาธิตรามคำแหงหรือเปล่าครับน้องเบคอนหรือเปล่า
ครับ
ใช่สาธิตรามไหมครับ
สาธิตส่วนงานครับ
มากันกี่ท่านครับผม
4 คนครับ
4 คนทราบข่าวการแข่งขันจากทางไหนครับ
จากเพื่อนครับเป็นชวนครับ
โอเคครับ ต่อไปนะครับมัธยมประชานิเวศน้องทีอยู่ไหมครับ
ครับ
ของน้องทีมากันกี่คนครับในทีม
มากัน4 คนครับ
4 คนทราบข่าวจากทางไหนครับ
ทราบมาจากเพื่อนในทีมเหมือนกันครับ
โอเคครับต่อไปชิลเบอรี่มีชิลเบอรี่มาด้วยอยู่ไหมครับน้องแซน
ค่ะมากับพี่เอมค่ะ
มาจากพี่เอมทีมน่าจะเป็นทีมผสมหรือเปล่าครับ
ใช่ค่ะ
โอเคครับจุฬาภรณ์ปทุมธานีโอเครู้ละ NK จุฬาภรณ์ปทุมธานีโอเคจะออกไมค์ไหมครับจุฬาภรณ์ปทุมธานีออกไมค์ไหมครับแนะนำตัวหน่อยไหมครับโอเคไม่เป็นไรเดี๋ยวเซสชั่นต่อไปนะครับเดี๋ยวให้พี่ลิลลี่นะครับแนะนำรายละเอียดนะครับในเรื่องการจัดการแข่งขันครั้งนี้นะครับพี่ลิลลี่นะครับเขาเป็นชาวต่างประเทศเนาะนะครับแล้วก็มีพี่ลิลลี่เป็นอีเวนต์แมเนเจอร์นะครับแล้วก็มีพี่ทรายที่ช่วยสนับสนุนต่างๆด้วยแล้วก็มีพี่หมูด้วยนะครับแต่วันนี้พี่หมูเขาติดสอนนะครับก็เดี๋ยวให้พี่ลิลลี่แชร์สไลด์เนาะ Lily are you okay ready now
Yes I am
Okay, I will make you the host and you can control your slide by yourself.
Okay.
Okay. นะครับระหว่างนี้นะครับให้ทุกคนรับทราบนะครับหลังจากเซสชันต่อไปนี้ไปก็จะเป็นภาษาอังกฤษยาวเลยนะครับสอบถามพี่เขาเป็นภาษาอังกฤษได้เลยนะครับคิดว่ารุ่นเด็กรุ่นใหม่ทุกวันนี้ภาษาอังกฤษน่าจะไม่ติดปัญหาอยู่แล้วเนาะโอเค Okay, Lily, can you increase the screen? I mean the click on presentation, start presentation to be make it full screen. Yes. Okay.
All right. Hello and welcome to everyone. Welcome to the NASA Space Apps Challenge Thailand 2021. And for today, our agenda will be the introduction, event schedule and platforms. We'll talk about the 28 challenges for this year. We'll also talk about the team formation, participant account, and resources. And at the end of everything, we'll also have a Q&A session. So before we get into it, for now, I would say you could please just stay on mute for now. And if you have any questions during the Q&A session, we'll get to all your questions and answer them accordingly. Thank you. All right, first we'll start up with the introduction. And here I would like to speak to you on the signing up and choosing a challenge. Before we get into that, these are our sponsors for this year's 2021 Space Apps that can make this event success for us this year. All right, so what is Space Apps all about? The Space Apps Challenge is held once every year and it's hosted by NASA and there are 10 other partners. And normally we choose a weekend every October and we come over for a 48-hour period to solve challenges on issues that are problems in the world, on Earth here and in space as well. And we are supposed to use these challenges and find solutions to various challenges that are presented to us yearly. All right, for this year, we have over 150,000 participants globally in over 250 locations with 80 countries and 10 space agencies. All right, now we'll start with the sign-up page process. After you go to the Space Apps website and you sign up, you get this confirmation page that tells you that you have completed your sign up, and then you'll get an email in your email address that you've used to sign up for the page. After this, you'll be directed to your participant account where you'll be able to check your dashboard. You'll be able to choose a challenge and also register your location. As you can see here, you can click on choose to choose a challenge, and then you can be directed to search locations where you can click on Bangkok, Thailand to join the location for Thailand. After you choose a challenge and you've chosen a location, you'll be directed to the login page where you'll have to put in your username and your password, and that way you are officially entered into the NASA Space Apps for 2021. If you click on the challenge section right here, you'll be directed to the 28 challenges pages for this year's Space Apps. And as you can see, on the right-hand side over here, there are different categories for each challenges. So for this year, we'll be having 11 categories. So you can choose any category of challenges you want, whether it's a game or it's an app, or you want to work on challenges based on the moon or space debris, you can choose them from the categories over here. All right, and now we'll move on to the program timeline and the event schedule. All right, as you all know from the group chat online, we have already announced that team formation and the chat has been opened for registration. So you can start creating your teams for now. From what I could see, we already have 15 teams that have been created this year for our location here in Bangkok, which is amazing. So if anyone wants to still create a new team or want to join a team, we will refer to that in the remaining slides to come. On the 1st of October, we'll have our virtual opening ceremony for the 2021 NASA Space Apps Challenge for Thailand. For now, the platform will be on Zoom. However, we will share updates on the platform and the link in the line group. You can refer to the line group right here if you don't have or if you haven't been added to our line group for now. And I'd also like to mention that after this meeting, I would send the slides to the line group so everyone can have access to this information and all the links that are inside it. All right, for the 2nd of October is when the hackathon will begin. So this is the day that we start to collaborate with your team and work together on the solutions for your selected challenge. And you will have 2 days, as earlier mentioned, to work on your challenges. On the 3rd of October is when the hackathon will end. And this is the day that you have the opportunity to complete and finalize your project solutions, give a presentation, and save and submit your project demo and your submission by 8 p.m. Please keep that in mind. All right, we have our event schedule for the 2nd and the 3rd. As you can see, the time will start at 9 a.m. local time and will end at 8 p.m. on the 2nd of October. For the event, we'll begin off and start off with the opening, and then you will have the, All right, we'll begin with the opening, and then we'll have the hackathon that will begin. And from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., you have an hour lunch break. And then right after that, we'll have a mentor session where you can share your ideas with the mentors and the judges and just inform local leads around and the mentors about what you have worked on so far. So we can just know your progress so far on your solutions. And then for the next day, the time slot will be from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The 3rd day is the day for you to finalize your project and get ready for your presentations and do your final presentation and save and submit your solutions on the challenge page. And then we'll also have a closing ceremony, which will bring us to the end of the hackathon event. All right, and now we will move on to the 28 challenges for this year. And you can find a link that will direct you immediately to the 28 challenges page on the official NASA Space website. All right, before we get into the challenges, this year is the 10th year anniversary of the Space Apps, and because of that, 4 new awards have been added to the award list, bringing it to a total of 10 awards. So the 10 awards for this year that will be awarded to winners for this year's Space Apps will be Best Use of Science, Best Use of Data, Best Use of Technology, Galactic Impact, Best Mission Concept, Most Inspirational, Best Storytelling Award, Global Connection Award, Art and Technology Award, and lastly, Local Impact Award. Now for the last one, which says Local Impact Award, this will mean, for example, if you choose a challenge based on COVID-19 and how to combat or mitigate the risk level of COVID-19, if you customize the challenge to Thailand and talk about the COVID-19 situation in Thailand, then you'll be eligible for a Local Impact Award. You can also read more about the awards right here and read the Georgian Awards Guide here, which will give you more information on how you are supposed to customize your challenges to your location in order to be able to win the awards listed above. All right, and now we are going to dive into the 28 challenges for this year. Like I said, there are many categories, so you can choose from a variety of different challenges that you feel like you'll be able to work on. Please remember that you don't have to know how to code. You don't need to know coding. You can choose a challenge that involves 2D or 3D products. It can be music, it can be video, it can be dance, it can be origami, painting, drawing, whatever it is that you're interested in. So first, the first challenge is artfully illuminated asteroids. And you can see that once you go to the challenge page, you'll find summary and more details about this challenge. You find the resources here, although I have included the links right here in the slide, so you don't have to go directly to the challenge page to find it. If you choose this challenge, you can just click this link on the right-hand side and it will take you to all the NASA resources for this challenge that is also downloadable if you need them before the event starts. All right, for this challenge, is going to discuss about the, All right, for this challenge, like I said, you can use different mediums, whether it's painting or drawing, to make a solution for this challenge. This challenge talks about the Lucy satellite, which is NASA's Lucy mission satellite that is used to orbit around asteroids. And your challenge is basically to just explain and illustrate how this satellite orbits the asteroids, and to just use any medium of your choice, like painting or drawing or even a video, to explain to people on how the Lucy satellite collaborates with the asteroids. For the next challenge is COVID-19, calculate the risk. So as we all know, COVID-19 is a global problem, even despite vaccination efforts worldwide. So the challenge here is to use environmental data from NASA to build a smartphone application. So this challenge, you will have to build an application if you want to do this challenge. And what you're expected of is to be able to create an app that can inform people or raise awareness of COVID-19, like the high risk zones. So you could use maybe color coding, like red for high risk, yellow for probably more medium risk, and green for safe centers. All right, moving on, we have the third challenge, which is discovering science connections. So for this challenge, you will need to find connections between the diverse NASA science disciplines. And if you don't know of the NASA science disciplines, you can just refer to the resources right here. And you have to find a linkage between the disciplines and communicate them in an innovative and interesting way. So basically, you could talk about some of the NASA science disciplines are earth science, astrophysics, and heliophysics. If you want to talk about heliophysics, which is basically the sun's interaction with Earth and solar systems, you could just explain it in a very interesting way with probably pictures and videos of your project. All right, moving on to drones and satellites for urban development. This is an interesting challenge because it enables you to work on ways to improve the quality of people's lives in cities and local communities. So you are basically to use data to enable local stakeholders to develop more sustainable and disaster risk resilient and inclusive urban plans. So if you're choosing this challenge, please keep in mind to include road safety, affordable housing, water and electricity, and safe transportation for people who live in the urban cities. All right, moving on, we have GUI for material science. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. This challenge is also an application, so you will need to build an application for this challenge. So all you have to do is to develop a graphical user interface that allows easy and seamless use of material science tools. Basically, you have to create an app that allows you to install packages, software, and databases for people who want to collect material science information and don't know how to access them. So your application needs to make these tools accessible to people. All right, we have seeds will travel. This is another interesting challenge because it talks about how to design a deployable crop production system that can be able to support crew members of 4 to 6 on a transit mission to Mars and back to Earth. So this one, your challenge is to design a crop production system and keep in mind to include the CO2 levels, oxygen levels, and thermal control system like light, oxygen, and water. Just basically how to be able to grow plants in space in a controlled environment. And please remember again that on the right-hand side, all resources that are needed and can be downloaded are available in this link. All right, we have the next challenge that says identifying risk with science and communities. So your challenge here is to develop a tool that uses data from NASA satellites to determine the risk of landslides in rural communities and also be able to share those results that they get with the local communities and the government. So basically here you can just create a prototype that can just inform people of when natural disasters like landslides are about to happen and where the high risk zones are. Okay, we move on to the 9th challenge, which is let it go without a bang. This challenge is basically a challenge to design a mechanical separation device that can cut a parachute, a bolt for an adapter ring or a cable, Basically, something that can separate two parts from each other smoothly in space without pyrotechnics. We have our 10th challenge, which is leveraging AI/MI for plastic marine debris. AI/MI means artificial intelligence and machine learning. So if you're interested in plastic marine debris, that's like ocean trash, then you can work on this challenge. And your challenge is to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to monitor, detect, and quantify plastic pollution, and also increase understanding about using the techniques for this purpose. So basically, you can create either an application or a tool that can help us to detect marine debris and just raise awareness for plastic pollution. For lunar surface operations in real-time collaboration, your challenge here is to create an application. So this is another app challenge to allow the NASA flight controllers and the scientific community to collaborate and compare notes on the lunar mission data as it is collected. So this one basically is a collaboration in real time. So for example, if NASA sends astronauts to space and they are getting information and data from either the moon or from Mars, then you have to create a way for the NASA flight controllers here on Earth to be able to see what they are seeing right there in space in real time. All right, moving on to the 12th one, which is mapping space trash in real time. This is another interesting challenge because this one is a challenge to develop an open source application that displays and locates every known debris object that is orbiting Earth in real time. So this one is basically about space debris mitigation and satellite protection. Basically, you'll have to create an application that can locate if a space debris is very close to Earth, and also a way to mitigate it, probably by redirection, and also in a way that the satellites out there orbiting Earth will not be affected. Moving on to the measuring the value of Earth observations, your challenge here is to describe how Earth observations and inform a specific decision that improves outcomes for society, and also propose a strategy for measuring these benefits. So here, all you have to do is maybe create a document that gives information on how the Earth observations will be helpful to people on Earth by creating awareness on the things that happen in space and also the things that happen here on Earth. Near space, near you. This is also a very amazing challenge because all you have to do here is develop a lesson plan and a bill of materials that can teach students how to build a low-cost, high-altitude balloon that's capable of reaching near space. So here, all you have to do is create a lesson plan or a document, maybe create a prototype. You can also design how you want your hot air balloon to look like, include all kinds of materials, and create like an inventory list of the resources used to create your high altitude balloons, and also the materials and the prices that you think that each of your materials cost. All right, for ontologies and interactive network visualizations, your challenge here is to create an ontology to integrate descriptions of disparate NASA data sets. So basically, ontology means categorizing or classifying and creating explanation based on visualizations. And also you have to develop an interactive network visualization to depict relationships among these data sets. So here, all you have to do is just try to explain what network visualizations is in very easy and simple terms for people to understand. All right, and we move on to Planetary Lander video game. This is our first video game app in which you'll be given the opportunity to create an inspiring and educational video game or interactive 3D model to simulate a landing on the moon or Mars. This is a very interesting challenge because it gives you the opportunity again to create video games and create an avatar of your own, as many astronauts as you want. You're able to create your own space station and create a video as well from the start off to the launch and to the landing on Moon or Mars, up to you. All right, we have our 17th, which is seeing the unseeable, viewing bugs from space. The challenge here is to just develop innovative ways to advance our ability to detect insect life and also track and predict the change over time and communicate that information to scientists and to the society to combat the loss of insect biodiversity. So basically here, our challenge is to be able to look into the lives of bugs and insect life in order to prevent them from extinction by providing correct information to scientists who are involved in this segment. All right, we have Space for Change. This is a very interesting challenge as well because it talks about Earth observation and being able to identify regions where environmental injustice occurs, and also design solutions that enable equitable outcomes. So here you can just discuss about environmental hazards like floods, earthquakes, whatever you think that is a problem or a challenge here on Earth that we need to change to create a more habitable space for people. All right, we move on to our second game of the challenge, which is Space Quest, the game. And here the challenge is to create a game that teaches players about space from the perspective of architectures and the challenges of exploration. So your setting can be anything from the past to the future with any destinations in the solar system, whether it's Mars or Moon or Jupiter or beyond, just anything you would like to work on in space. All right, and we have Superpower Earth. So for Superpower Earth here, you will have to find a superpower for Earth. So I think this is also a very interesting challenge because here you have the opportunity to create an avatar for Earth and give Earth a superpower. So just imagine if Earth could have a superpower, what do you think it would be? For example, would you want the superpower to be to fix climate change? Would you want it to just stop all sorts of natural disasters? So whatever you think that Earth superpower should be to make Earth a better place, feel free to include that in your project. All right, we move on to the Trail to Mars. Can you keep your crew alive? This is very interesting, and please keep in mind that this challenge right here is for ages of 10 to 14. So basically you have to create an educational game for ages of 10 to 14, meaning that you have to create a game that is very easy to access and very easy to understand because of the age range. And your main aim here is to create an avatar and try to keep them alive and healthy during a voyage or a journey from Earth to Mars and back, and also identify the most difficult challenges and the biggest risks involved in the human spacecraft. So again, remember to use layman terms, remember to use simple terms and accessible data, because this challenge right here is a challenge that's created for persons of the ages of 10 to 14. All right, moving on, we have unlocking the secrets of the sun. So this challenge here, right, is to develop a method to improve public awareness and understanding of this spacecraft and how the valuable data can impact the way we live, work, and play. So here you can create a 2D or a 3D design. You can use music, you can use art, drawing, or painting on describing what the weather is like on the sun, describing the magnetic fields, solar panels, just anything that is related to the sun and how it affects our daily life. All right, we have virtual planetary exploration version 2.0. So this one right here is also another game, and your challenge is to create interactive 3D models or equipment using geology tools that future space explorers can use for activities like exploring a planetary surface. So here you are allowed to use 2D or 3D to create models that can help scientists to be able to explore the surface of whether it's the moon or the Mars, whatever you would like to work on. All right, we have the 24 challenge, which is warning, things are heating up. From the name alone, we can tell that this is about climate change and global warming. So the challenge here is to build a tool that uses Earth observation and crowdsourced data to provide warnings about potential impacts of events, along with guidance on mitigation methods. So here again, like I said earlier, it's about climate change and global warming. So remember to add risk zones. You can also talk about PM 2.5 here in Thailand. Like I said, you can customize each challenge to your location in order to be eligible for the local award. So for this challenge, a very good opportunity would be to use the PM 2.5 levels here in Thailand, climate change, and also global warming to amplify your project. All right, moving on, we have Web Origami Design Challenge. This challenge here is for you to create origami. So origami basically is a piece of art that is created with paper. So you can just create a 2D or 3D object for this challenge, or make a video of your creation. And basically your origami has to be in the likeness of James Webb Space Telescope. And you have to use it to showcase the web as a technological and design marvel using an art meets science approach. All right, next we have what on earth is synthetic aperture radar? So here your challenge is just to create a 2 or 3 or 5 minute video explaining what synthetic aperture radar technology is to the public in your own language. So here you can create the video, but I would advise you to create the video in English. That way it'll be much more easier to access and understand. All right, we have when light curves throws us curveballs. So here this challenge is basically to design a tool that allows users to explore how the shape of an asteroid can affect the appearance of its light curve. So for this challenge, it's also very interesting because you can create and design 3D models of asteroids, keeping in mind of their shape and their texture, and also their axis of rotation. So basically out there in space, the asteroids have an axis of rotation. So you can create a light curve graph to be able to describe the axis of rotation with timestamps and explain how the shape of these asteroids can affect the light curves that it gives up. All right, and we have this one that says, "You are my sunshine." This challenge is to develop a mobile app. So this is another app challenge that allows you to access information on NASA's prediction of worldwide renewable energy resources, also known as power, web service portal, and provide useful information about sunshine to the general public. Okay, so for this challenge, please keep in mind that your application should be available and accessible on Android, iPhone, or Windows. And also keep in mind power parameters like temperature, humidity, and wind. This challenge could also include the use of solar panels. You can just talk about how solar panels are used and how the sunshine can be used in different industries like agricultural or the industrial industries. All right, and lastly, we've come to the end of the challenges, which ends with the invent your own challenge. So if you feel like none of the challenges you are relatable, or you don't want to work on any of the prior 28 or 27 challenges, you can invent your own challenge. Or if you feel like there are still some issues in space and on Earth that we need to tackle, you can invent your own challenge and use resources from the NASA Open Data right here. But please note that if you invent your own challenge, you will not be eligible for global nomination. You can only receive a participant certificate and also maybe a local nomination, but you will not be eligible for global nomination for this challenge. All right, and that brings us to the end of the challenges. And right now we'll move on to team formation. So from what I have seen so far, we have had 15 teams so far been set up, which is amazing. I want to say thank you to everyone who was able to create their teams based on the team formation guide. And if you still do not have the team formation guide, or if you don't have a team yet, we will get into that shortly. And when we send the slide, please refer to this team formation guide, which can give you more details about how to set up your team, how to make updates, give more information, join a team, and also edit your team tab. All right, first we're going to start with creating a team. So for you to create a team, you will have to go to the challenge page on the official Space Apps website with the link right here. Once you get to the challenge page, you will be asked to choose a challenge. Remember, you can also look for the challenge right here in the search box right here if you already know the name of the challenge you want to use. And after you click on a challenge, for example, right here, I use Space for Change, which is one of the challenges for this year's Space Apps. Just go to the Teams tab right here and click on that. When you click on the Teams tab, you'll be able to find Start a Team. Again, it's a very easy process. Once you get to the challenge page, it's basically very easy from there. Once you click Start a Team, you'll be directed to this form right here. Once directed to this form right here, you will have to input your team name. So you can just think of a team name that you want to use. Remember that it can be edited, so you don't have to stress too much about this. Just put a team name to create a team first. And then when you think of a more suitable or a better team name, you can come back and edit your page. We'll get into that very soon. So you add your team name, your team motto, and your avatar. And before you click create a team, please remember to check this checkmark box right here that says, I am looking for other team members. This will enable other participants to be able to find your team and join your team so that you can have up to at least 6 participants per team. And after you click this checkbox, then click create a team. Once you click create a team, you will be directed to your team page. So for here, for an example, I use testing just to create a team. And once you get to your team page, you'll be able to find 3 tabs. One says your project, your team board, and your team members. So once you've done this and you've clicked create team, that's it. You've created a team already. All right, you'll be taken to your team updates tab, like I said here, and you'll be able to click share. So before that, you can include any information, a code snippet or a code example, or any photos of your team if you would like to impute that. Remember again that you can edit your team pages, so you don't have to stress too much when you're creating a team. As you keep getting more information, if you keep getting better pictures, you can always edit and make it look more better and nicer. All right, if you click on the team members tab right here, you'll have an access to your invitation code. Please remember to save this. It's very important, like I said. So please remember to save this invitation code, because if a participant wants to join the team that you have created, they will be directed to a page where it will request for a code. And so you will have to send a code to the participants who want to join your team. So remember again to please save this code when you create a team. All right, to join a team, all you have to do is go to a challenge page and select a challenge and select the teams tab right here. So for example, if you choose Have Seeds Will Travel challenge, as you can see, you have details, you have resources, and you have teams. So just click on the teams tabs right here, and you'll get a list of all the challenges from all over the world globally. So for Space Apps Thailand, if you would like to join a team here, it is recommended that you make sure the location of the team you want to join is Bangkok. So as you can see, I started here with Have Seeds Will Travel. I went to teams, and then I searched for a team that says Bangkok. So I can see that we already have a full team here with 6 members for Space Plant. So if a team is already full, but you still want to work on this challenge, you can create another team. You can create as many teams as possible. All right, so if a team on a challenge is already full, feel free to create another team if you still want to work on this challenge. All right, so once you find the location for Bangkok, all you have to do is click on it and it will navigate you to Team Members tab. So once you get into the location for Bangkok on the Teams tab, just click on Team Members and click Join Team. Like I said, it's a very easy and straightforward process. Once you get to the challenge page, everything is there for you and it's very easy to access. So for number 4, once you click Join Team, you'll be directed to this page. And if it will ask you if you want to join, and you'll have to input the invite code. I think you remember that from the prior slides. If you don't have the code, you can either access in Line, our Line group right here, or you can click Ask to join space plant. And if you click this, it will direct you straight away to the Space Apps chat, which is the record chat, where you can be able to directly ask the team leader to give you the invitation code to join a team. But I would advise, if you want to get faster response, just look at the name of the team you want to join. For example, this one is Space Plant. So just go to our Line group. We have the link here. Just go to our NASA Line group and just ask, just say, please, I want to join Space Plant group. May I have the invitation code? And I'm sure that the team leader will send it to you in the group, and then you can input the code here and click Join Team. All right, so that's it for the team formation, creating a team and joining a team. Now we'll move on to the global resources and tools that will be used during this Space Apps event. All right, first I want to talk about the participant account. Once you have logged into your Space Apps account, you'll be able to have access to your dashboard, which is right here. It says My Dashboard. If you go to My Dashboard, this is what will show up, participant account, which will enable you to access your account or your location settings. So you can change your team, you can change your challenge as well. You can access your account settings, you can access your communications tabs for updates and information before the hackathon starts. Right here, if you click home, this is the page you will see where you can change your challenge, where you can change your team. If you click on communications, you'll be able to, like I said, again, get information and updates on the event even before the event. So if you come here to communications tabs, you'll be able to get information on whatever is needed, what you need to prepare before the event starts. And I also advise you to check daily, at least once, so you can be able to find updated information needed before the hackathon event. All right, on your account settings right here, you can be able to edit your name, your username, your email, and your avatar or your location. And now we will talk about launching the Space Apps chat, which is also called the Record Chat. So to launch the Record Chat, all you have to go to is our Bangkok location page with the link right here and select Launch Chat. If you still have problems with launching the chat, please refer to the chat guide with the link right here, and you'll be able to get more information on how the chat works and how you can be able to outsource information from the Record Chat. Please remember to launch your chat at least 5 days before the hackathon event. That way you can be able to familiarize yourself with the platform and familiarize yourself with how to get information and connect yourself with the NASA experts and mentors who will be available to give you guidelines and tutorials. All right, after clicking the launch chat from the previous page, it will navigate you right here to the Space Apps chat. Once you navigated here, you have to click on log in with Space Apps. So just log in with the same email and password that you used for your Space Apps account. And once you log in, you will be navigated to this page where you can find teams, you can find announcements, welcome, and also your project submission help. Again, this is like a magnified tab. So when you get into the Space Apps chat, which is the Record Chat, you can find your announcements, welcome section, and project submission help chat. So this is what the welcome looks like. If you log into the welcome tab right now, you'll be able to connect to every participant from all over the world. You can also be able to find different teams and just talk about the space apps. You can ask questions, and you can also find out announcements and updated information. All right, if you click on the Globe tab right here, you'll be able to find all the available teams globally and the challenge channels. But this tool will be open on the 1st of October. So for now, you only have access to announcements, to the welcome channel and the project submission help. But for available teams globally and the challenge channels, they will be open on the 1st of October. And the project submission help as well will open on the 1st of October. So here you will get help on how to submit your project, how to submit your demo. Please refer to the guides below here for the project submission guide and the project demo guide. For the project demo, just to speak a little bit on it, your project demo basically is a video. It could be a 30-second video, or it could be just a 7 PowerPoint slide. And all you have to do is just explain what your challenge is about, the name of your team, and what solutions that you are working on. And you can include videos or photographs of your work and your progress. All right, and now we're going to talk about the Global Collaborators resources that will be available for you during the hackathon weekend. Please remember that this one will open on the 2nd of October, which is when the resources tools will be open on Rocket Chat. Again, you can only access these tools here on Rocket Chat on the 2nd of October. So our first global collaborator will be GoDaddy Registry, and they will provide a free domain name to be used for your project. So if you are creating an app or you're creating a prototype and you need a domain name, you can just go to GoDaddy Registry website and sign in with your Space Apps account, and you'll be able to get free domain names. We also have Google Cloud Platform, which will allow you to easily launch your cloud-based applications that are used during the project. We have IBM, which provides access to cloud-based artificial intelligence and science tools and APIs as well. For the fourth one, we have Meteoromatics. This one I think is very, very useful because it allows you access to customizable and global weather data and weather API as well. So if you're working on, let's say, climate change, or you're working on COVID-19 challenges or anything related to environmental information that you need weather access for, Meteoromatics would be amazing for you to use because you can customize your location for it. All right, the fifth one is Microsoft Azure. This one will give you access to cloud computing services with a variety of environmental data. We also have Miro, which is an online whiteboard platform, and I think it's going to be great for virtual events. So your team can log in on Miro and use an online whiteboard, which will facilitate and expedite solutions and questions, and you can all work together on one whiteboard, which will, I believe, will be very easy for you to work with. All right, we have Planet Lab, which is the largest constellation of Earth observation satellites in orbit, and it will give access to daily coverage of PlanetScope and rapid eye data. So if you're working on, let's say, Earth observation or space from Earth, then you can use Planet Lab to be able to get raw data on Earth observation satellites in orbit. And lastly, we have Tableau, which is an analytics platform for data connection, and it provides collaboration. So Tableau, it's very, very great for creating beautiful visualizations and dashboards. So it also includes drag and drop elements, and it's very easy to build a dashboard using Tableau. Again, the resources and tools are accessible from the 2nd of October, and you can only get this on Rocket Chat. That is why I mentioned that you have to launch your Rocket Chat at least 5 days before the event, so you can have access to all of these tools and to make your life and make your challenges and your project much more easier during the hackathon event. For these global collaboration tools, if you don't know how to use them, all you have to do is go to Rocket Chat, and from the 2nd, you would have support from each of these companies with tutorials, channels, and you'll be able to get into those channels and ask your questions directly, and they'll be very happy to teach you or help you with whatever that you need based on the different resources. All right, and lastly, before we move on to the Q&A session, I would like to talk about group photos that will need to be taken before the event. So remember, we have our opening ceremony on the 1st of October, and then the hackathon will start on the 2nd. So we recommend that teams take pictures together or individually. You can collect your team members' contact from the team page, as earlier showed, from the team tab on the challenges page, or you can create a different line group or whichever platform you would like to collaborate with your team together and take pictures, or you can do it individually and then edit it to make it as one file. And the second thing is for you to record individual videos. So this is basically a pitch for us to be connected and be able to know who the team members are and who the team lead is and what challenges you're working on. So you have to record individual videos, or you can record it together if possible. So the video has to include your first name and your last name, your school name, the challenge that you chose, your team name, and your reason for interest in the NASA space apps. And remember that the video limit is just 3 minutes. So all you have to do is create a video, introduce yourself, mention your team name, mention the challenge, and just give a reason why you're interested in NASA space apps and what you expect to be the outcome of the event for this year. So that's it. That brings us to the end of this orientation meeting. Thank you all for listening. And right now we'll move on to our Q&A session. So please feel free to ask your questions. You can turn on your microphone or you can ask in the chat and I will answer all your questions. You can also ask in both English or in Thai, and I will make sure to be able to get your answers and solutions to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lily. มีใครมีคำถามนะครับสอบถามได้เลยนะครับเนี่ยกริปนะครับThat's the first question.
All right, so we have the first question that says, for the video, is it a total of 3 minutes or 3 minutes each? All right, that's a good question. So for the video, it's 3 minutes total. So if you want to do the video individually, you'll have to record it, make a very short video, and then send it to your team leader who can edit, or anyone in your team who can edit the video and make it just 3 minutes. All right, do we have any other questions? Yes, after this meeting, I will send the slide to our line group where you'll be able to have access to the slides. All right, if I want to change the challenge, can I do that? Yes, that is absolutely possible. All you have to do is go to your dashboard, as earlier mentioned in this slide, and you can go to account settings and click on change challenge. And once you click on the change challenge, then you can repeat the steps for creating a new team or joining a new team. So yes, it's absolutely possible to change your challenge. You can change your challenge up to the 2nd of October before the hackathon starts. You're welcome. All right, we have a question that says, what's the final presentation? Is it like a live thing or what? All right, that's a great question. The final presentation, again, since this is a virtual event, we will be hosting it on a platform. It could be Zoom or any other platforms. We will update you on that in our line group, but it will be a live presentation. So basically, after you submit your, before you submit your submission and your project demo, we will have a final presentation where you will have to explain what your challenge is about and the solutions you created to the judges. So yes, it will be virtual. All right, we have a question that says 30-second pitch.
Hold on. I recommend that all the presentation on the presentation day, everyone should have the webcam ready, because the judge panel would like to see your personality and everything. Yeah, this would help you to get a more advantage over the presentation. So please be prepared.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that is a great point. So yes, for the final presentation, please remember to turn on your webcam, and so that we can be able to see your presentation and you can be able to share files on the solutions that you worked on. All right, for the next question we have, for submission, we have to submit both slides and videos must be sent or just one? When you say submit both slides and videos, what do you mean? Because for submission, you have to submit your project submission, which is the work that you've done for your challenge, and you also have to submit your project demo. Your project demo has to be a 30-second video or a 7 PowerPoint slide. So yes, you have to submit both your project submission and your project demo. So yes, both of them. Okay, we have a question that says, what is the time in the time zone? GMT +7, yes. For our location for NASA Space Apps Thailand, it is 9 a.m. local time. So all our events will be held local time, which is GMT +7. All right, we have a question that says, how long should the live presentation be? All right, if you refer to the event schedule, you can see that we have about an hour for presentations. So it will be an hour for all teams to present your presentation. And so far we have 15 teams. So probably you have about 5 to 7 minutes per team to present what your final challenge and what your final solution is about. Everything has to be clear and concise. It doesn't have to be too long. So let's say 5 minutes for each team to present what their challenges and your solutions is about. All right, do we have any more questions? Please feel free to ask. All right, we have a question that says live presentation is considered for local award only. Yes, the presentation after you finish submitting is for local awards only and participation. However, if you refer to the judging and awards guide, which the link is in the slides right here that I will share later after the meeting, you'll be able to find that your project demo, which is again a 7 PowerPoint slide or a 30-second video, is what will be submitted with your project submission to the global NASA Space Apps. So your project demo and project submission is what will be considered for global nomination. But your live presentation here in Thailand locally will be considered for local awards only. So yes to your question.
And as I knew, the local award, after we selected, then we will be selected as a global nominee from the local award.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll select a global nominee from the local awards. And also, please keep in mind, I will also add this to the slide and give updates in our line group as well. After you submit and you do your final presentations on the 3rd of October, you will have to give the local judges time to the 10th of October to announce local awards and local winners. So on the 10th of October, you will be informed and updated on the local awards and local winners for Space Apps Thailand. All right, is the presentation in Thai or in English? All right, I recommend that everyone submits their presentation and does their project submission in English. Please, all of your solutions, every project you work on, whether it's video, drawing, music, painting, whatever project you work on, whatever submissions you are making must be in English, please. All right, a question here says, what are the criteria to be considered in global finalists? All right, to be considered to be a global finalist, you'll have to create a project demo, as earlier mentioned, with a project submission. And before you submit it, please click on the checkbox that says, I want to be nominated as a global finalist. This is mentioned in the local judging and awards guide, with the link is right here in the slides that you have access to after the meeting. So all you have to do is go to the judging and awards guide and you'll be able to find the criteria list. If you click on the check mark box that says, I want my project to be nominated for global nominees, then you'll be able to be considered for global finalists. But then again, remember that the local awards that will be done on the 10th of October. So the teams who win for the local awards also, if they click for their project to be submitted for global nominations, it will be done as well. So before you submit your projects, before you submit anything, please remember to click the check mark box that says, I want my project to be considered for global nomination. All right, we have a question here. It's a very good question. It says, can I use other resources or only global collaborator resources? You can use any resource that you want. If you want to code and you want to use maybe GitHub for your coding, you can use that. But if you use any external platforms or external resources, please remember to include it in your references. Just impute the link so that we can know that you use other resources. So feel free, you don't only have to use NASA resources, you can use any other resources that you think will be able to make your work and your project easier. But just remember to include the link in your references before you submit. So yes, any other resources can be used. All right, we have another question that says, will NASA give data set to us on the hack day? Absolutely. Absolutely. On the 2nd of October, just log into the Space Apps, which is the Rocket Chat, and you'll be given all the data sets. You'll be given everything that you need to do to help you to work on your project. And if you don't know how to use a data set, all you have to do is just go into the Welcome tab, and you'll be able to ask questions to all the participants globally and all the NASA experts that will be live that day that will help you to give tutorials on how to use the data set. So everything will be provided to you within the 2 hackathon days. All right, another question says, are we required to use NASA's resources? It is recommended to use NASA's resources because most of the challenges are in relation to space and Earth. And you are supposed to use, for example, some of the environmental challenges or space or satellite challenges, you are supposed to use NASA resources because that is where you'll be able to get proper information, updated information in relation to the challenge that you've chosen. So even though you can use external resources, it's very highly recommended to include some NASA resources as well. There are so many resources that are available on each challenge, so I try to use as most or as many as you can with the inclusion of external resources. And the NASA's resources can be downloaded as well. So you can click on them and download them and read about it and just know how to use it and familiarize yourself with it before the hackathon weekend. All right, another question says, does Azure have the NASA resource in it? So I'm thinking you're referring to the Microsoft Azure. Is that right? For NASA resources? All right, if you're referring to the Microsoft Azure, yes. All you have to do is sign in with your Space Apps account and you would have access to every resource that the global collaborators are offering us for this year's Space Apps. You're welcome. Again, remember, whatever information, whatever resources, whatever data set, whatever coding help that you need, you can get answers on the Rocket Chat. That is why it's recommended to sign into your Rocket Chat a few days before the event so you can get all your data sets, all your resources that you want to use beforehand. All right, we have a question that says, when you mentioned earlier in the presentation that there are 10 awards like best use of science, would these 10 awards be considered for all challenges or individual challenge? All right, so the mentioned 10 awards are for all challenges. They are for all challenges. So for example, even if you're working on, let's say, a challenge that is about, let's say, let it go without a bang. If you use information that is related to science and you are able to use proper data sets, you're able to use proper resources that's in relation to science, then yes, the awards will be considered for best use of science. All right, do we have any more questions?
ถ้าไม่มีคำถามไหนหรือยังไงเดี๋ยวอาจจะไปถามเพิ่มเติมได้ในห้องแชท If you still have the question you can keep ask the question on the open chat.
Yes, on our group. Yes.
One last question, okay?
All right. The Rocket chat is the one that looks like Slack. Yes, absolutely. It's the one that looks like Slack. You can also get a Slack account if you would want, but it's recommended that you launch the Rocket chat because it takes you directly to the chat where you'll be able to discuss with other participants and NASA experts. And you can refer to the chat guide. The link is included here in this slide. If you refer to the chat guide, you'll be able to see how the Rocket chat works and how you can access it easily. All right, and if you have any more questions, please feel free to access in our open chat and we'll get back to you immediately. And after this meeting, I'll make sure that these slides are available to you so you can review them and you can also click on the links that are included in the slides for more information. So thank you to everyone. I think that'll be the last question we're taking for today. So thank you for your time, everyone, and happy hacking. Remember to always ask questions. We'll be here to answer any questions that you have, and we'll be very happy to help you with whatever you need to make your hackathon weekend a success. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Yep. Okay. Thank you so much, Lily, and very good, resourceful presentation. Any of you still have the question, please leave the message on the open chat. And hope everyone preparing for upcoming event. Please consider the event as your personal challenge. It's not the challenge that you're gonna get the certification alone, but you're gonna challenge yourself and become a next level of your knowledge. Yeah. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you. See you next time. Okay. Bye bye.